5 seconds to go. Start. Honorable members, it gives me great pleasure to address both houses of parliament assembled together. A few months back, our country completed 75 years of independence and entered the Amrit Kal. This Azadi Ka Amrit Kal assimilates the pride of thousands of years of our glorious past, the inspirations of Indian freedom struggle, and India's resolve for a golden future. This Amrit Kal of 25 years is the period of the golden centenary of independence and the making of a developed India. This 25-year span is for all of us and for every citizen of the country to perform our duties to the utmost levels. An opportunity to build an era beckons us for which we need to work continuously with our full potential. By 2047, we have to build a nation which not only embraces its glorious past but also encompasses every golden aspect of modernity. We have to build a Bharat which is self reliant and also able to fulfill its humanitarian obligations. A Bharat which has no poverty and where the middle class is also prosperous. A Bharat whose youth and women power will be at the forefront to give direction to the society and the nation, and whose youth are well ahead of time. A Bharat whose diversity is even more vivid and whose unity becomes even more unshakable. When the country actualizes this reality in 2047, it will certainly observe and assess the foundation of its grand construction. At that time, these initial moments of the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal will be viewed with a different perspective. Therefore, this time and this period of Amrit Kal has become all the more significant. Honorable members, when the people of the country gave my government the opportunity to serve them for the first time, we began with the mantra of Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. With the passage of time, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas were also added to it. This mantra has now become the inspiration for building a developed India. In a few months, my government will complete 9 years on this Kartavya path of development. In almost 9 years of my government's term, the people of India have witnessed many positive changes for the first time. The biggest change is that today every Indian's confidence is at its peak and the world's outlook towards India has changed. India, which once looked at others for solutions to most of its problems, is today emerging as a provider of solutions for the issues faced by the world. In these years, basic facilities have been made available to a large segment of the population who had waited for these for decades. The modern infrastructure that we long aspired for has started coming up in the country in these years. The digital network that India has built is a source of inspiration even for developed countries. The long felt urge to be rid of the scourge of mega scams and corruption in government schemes is now being realized. Today, the debate is no longer about policy paralysis. Instead, India is being recognized for her rapid development and the far sightedness of her decisions. That is why we have now become the fifth largest economy in the world, up from the 10th spot. This is the foundation which elevates the self confidence for building a developed Bharat in the next 25 years. Honorable members, Lord Baseswara had said, Kayakve Kailasa, which means karma is worship and Shiva is in the karma itself. Following this path, my government is actively engaged in performing the duty of nation building. Today, India has a government which is stable, fearless, decisive, and working with lofty ambitions. Today, India has a government which respects the honest. Today, India has a government working for permanent solution of the problems of the poor and their lasting empowerment. Today, India has a government working at an unprecedented speed and scale. Today, India has a government that gives preeminence to public welfare by leveraging innovation and technology. Today, India has a government which is committed to removing every obstacle being faced by women. Today, there is a government in India which is committed to progress as well as the protection of nature. Today, India has a government that preserves heritage while also embracing modernity. Today, India has a government which is moving forward confidently to play its rightful role on the global stage. Honorable members, today, through this session, I express my gratitude to the people of the country for electing a stable government for two consecutive terms. My decisive government has always kept the country's interest paramount and shown the willpower to completely transform the policies and strategies when required. From surgical strike to a firm crackdown on terrorism, from a befitting response to every misadventure, from LOC to LAC, from abrogation of Article 370 to triple talaq, my government has been recognized as a decisive government. The stable and decisive government has enabled us to deal with the biggest calamity in 100 years and the situation that arose thereafter. Wherever in the world there is political instability, those countries are beset with severe crisis today. But India is in a much better position than the rest of the world due to the decisions taken by my government in the national interest. Honorable members, my government is of the firm opinion that corruption is the biggest enemy of democracy and social justice. Therefore, there has been a relentless fight against corruption in the last few years. We have ensured that the honest will be honored in the system. There is increasing social consciousness in the country that there should be no sympathy for the corrupt in the society. In the last few years, the Benami Property Act was notified with a view to create a corruption free ecosystem. The Fugitive Economic Offenders Act was passed to confiscate the properties of criminals who absconded after committing economic offences. An effective system has also been put in place to end the practice of favoritism and corruption in government machinery. Today, there is a government e-marketplace GEM system for tenders and government procurement in which transactions worth more than rupees 3 lakh crore have taken place so far. Today, special honor is being bestowed upon those making an honest contribution in nation building. Life of our countrymen has been made easier by doing away with the complexities of filing income tax returns. Promotion of faceless assessment has brought about transparency and accountability in the system. Earlier, there was a long wait for tax refunds. Today, refunds are received within a few days of filing ITRs. Today, the GST regime has provided transparency along with ensuring the dignity of taxpayers. Stop.